Spartans! What is your profession?
This was even better from him. This was even better. This gave me, you know what I can compare it to? This gave me
Floyd versus Marquez.
Yeah, Floyd versus Marquez. That's what this fight gave me. That's how dominant a performance it was from Shakur. It was that hit and not get hit. It was a sweet science, but he also took the center of the ring, traded with Teofimo, and Teofimo, no matter what you can say about him, right? He is a multi-division champion. He's beaten the names of Lomachenko, Josh Taylor. But Shakur made this guy look like an average fighter. He looked like an amateur versus a professional.
People who act and are like Simon Jordan, who are condescending, who speak to us or say little undertones to think that we don't understand. But we are smart enough to understand and not to rise above it. This is why I get onto Wilder as well, because you're not a newbie.
He's been in the game for years.
Industry for a long time.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm so frustrated at him as someone of color as well, because it's like
we don't because you know what it is.
This wasn't a racism thing.
It's not.
But
you know what it is? Do you know what it is? It wasn't a racism thing, and I don't think it was from Jordan. But Wilder's reaction, which is the other reason why I'm annoyed at it, you know what it's like. You know, because that reacting the way that he's reacting, you know what the comments are going to be. Like we all know what the comments are going to be. Yeah, look at this and blah, and see, that's all they do. They're emotional. Look at them being aggressive. Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, he's a boxer. That's his thing. But like in this world, we just don't need that. Yes, people, another edition of Nights of the Round Table Discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guys ST and Tooth in the building. How we doing, people?
All good, man. All good.
All good, bruv. What you saying, fam?
Yo, we're here, bruv. We're here. We haven't seen Tooth hasn't been here in a little bit, people. He's been MIA, hiding in the shadows, bruv. Putting in that work.
Hey, listen, you know, off air when I was talking, and I started talking about some deep shit. Did you see what happened, bruv? They cut man out, fam. They tried to infiltrate.
They cancelled you.
Bro, you know they're always watching you, bruv.
Proper, bruv. But, we're going to unpack it here anyway, bruv. You know what I mean? If I go down, the ship goes down with me, fam.
I'm not involved.
No. We know we ain't coming. We're on a different ship, bruv. We're going in the other direction.
I'm not involved with him.
Nah. Never that, bruv. Never that. But listen, it's always good to have the man them back, and people, I said it to you, Boxing Talk is back. We're going to be getting into a couple of things. Obviously, the big fight that happened last weekend between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. We're going to be reviewing that, looking at that and the consequences of that fight. And we're going to be getting a little bit into, I know ST and I mentioned it last week, but since then we've had an interview with Deontay Wilder and Chisora. So we're going to be unpacking that a little bit as well and getting into that. 100%. But as usual, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up, and at the same time, share. We are here, and don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. People, and obviously Boxing Talk is, as we have ST always, our encyclopedia of boxing knowledge, and we've got Tooth here, our MMA connoisseur. Gonna get into it. It was obviously it's only early doors, but the big fight to start off the year. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson for the WBO super lightweight title. When ST and I spoke about this last week, we tried to pose an argument for Teofimo. We tried to give him everything. We tried to say he gets up for the big fights. We tried to say he rises to the occasion. He's the person that's the natural at this weight. He had to try and impose himself. Shakur Stevenson's resume didn't match up to Teofimo's resume, so you thought there would be something there. But in the end, ST and I both said that it's going to be a points decision to Shakur, and that's how it ended up, a points decision to Shakur. Unanimous decision. On all scorecards, it was 119-109, which means they only gave Teofimo one round, ST? Yeah, one round. Yeah. I think it was the 8th. But it was an absolute boxing masterclass. And ST, when we look at it, we saw with Shakur's previous fight with Cepeda that he has completely gone against the grain, and he said, I'm going to stop doing this running thing. I can't have people associating me with running with the ring. Who's it? Oh, what is that name? It escapes me. He had a terrible fight. De Los Santos, was that the one?
Edwin De Los Santos, yes.
Yeah, where he.
But I think Shakur was injured, like I said. He was injured that fight. So
yeah, so he took the center of the ring against Cepeda and put on a masterclass. But this was even better from him. This was even better. This gave me. You know what I can compare it to? This gave me
Floyd versus Marquez.
Yeah, Floyd versus Marquez. That's what this fight gave me. That's how dominant a performance it was from Shakur. It was that hit and not get hit. It was a sweet science, but he also took the center of the ring, traded with Teofimo, and Teofimo, no matter what you can say about him, right? He is a multi-division champion. He's beaten the names of Lomachenko, Josh Taylor. But Shakur made this guy look like an average fighter. He looked like an amateur versus a professional. That's how bad a beating it was, ST. And listen, what can we say? How did you see the fight? Did you agree with the judges' scored cards A, and B? How impressed were you with Shakur in this fight? Bearing in mind he was the one that had to move up in weight, and as people would say, this was his biggest and toughest test, and probably the first name on his resume that people would recognize.
There's not really too much to talk about Shakur. So this was his first time at 140, first time division, but he boxed sensationally. You know, the jab was working, footwork on point, landing the right hand at will. It was beautiful boxing, feet quick, made Teofimo look like an amateur. Teofimo wasn't great, but at the same time, Shakur made him look ordinary. And when you've honed your skills to such a high level, that's what you get. You get someone who is a level above technically, and you know what? He deserved to win. Like, congratulations to Shakur. He was picture perfect. The judges got it correct. I didn't even give him a round. That's how I didn't give him a round. I mean, the judges gave him one, which was the 8th. The 8th was very close. So I get why.
Yeah, I think that was the consensus that he just slightly edged the 8th.
But I didn't give him a round. That's how bad it was. And I was trying to be nice to him, but yeah, it was dominant. And also, he hurt Theo quite a few times. He made what we were talking about in the previous poddy, that Shakur needs to make Theo respect his power. And no, Theo got cut and Theo was visibly hurt. So obviously he felt that power, which tells me.
And I think sorry, Scott, I think Shakur nearly dropped him in the 4th with the uppercut.
Yes. And what it tells me is that I think Shakur, because Shakur is not little. Shakur is relatively tall for that. And I was gonna say, when he was at 126, 130 and stuff like that, he's now grown into his man strength. And that 140 is a healthier weight for him because he's not cutting down as much, because he's naturally a big guy. You can tell he's naturally big. He probably walks around 160, 150. So him cutting down to like 130 is a lot for him, and it can deplete. So if you've ever cut weight, it's difficult. So it depletes your energy and stuff like that. You tend not to move as well. You're not at your healthiest. And the fact that he's at 140, it's a healthy weight for him. He looks fantastic. He still maintained his speed. He maintained his cool. And obviously, I think he probably punches harder because he's got more power behind him and he's quicker. He's still quick and he's still sharp. But so well done to Shakur, honestly. We can't congratulate him enough. Unfortunately, he's already been stripped of the WBC, but that's another story for another reason.
What?
He's been stripped, yeah.
Of this belt?
Of the WBC belt.
What, 135?
Yes.
Why?
Exactly. It's not fair. You know what it is as well? He's already paid the sanctioning fees, but if I'm honest, it's because of what Crawford said. Because, you know, Crawford and Shakur Stevenson are like that.
Oh, yeah.
So what's happened now is, you know, when your friend, when you're by association, and that's how Mauricio Suleiman is. He's a very petty person. Whereas the same guy with Canelo was doing even worse, protecting him and letting him have the belt for such a long time.
Yeah.
And now he's doing, now he's doing Shakur wrong. So he's been stripped. Which is very
boxing politics, bro.
Boxing politics. So it's annoying. In terms of Teofimo, and I think we were talking about this before air. I mean, he needs to get rid of his dad at his corner. The actual instructions that he was giving his son, he's like, "You need to hit him. You need to." I'm like, "Come on, man! I can give those instructions." Like they were really bad.
It's like Tooth when he was in the corner for his boy, bro. Just like everyone thinks everyone.
Yo, hit him with the 1-2, fam. Oi, move your head. You know what I mean?
No, but see, that's better.
Well,
that's better information.
Than what Teofimo's dad was telling him, bro. Man was like, "You gotta hit him. You gotta use power." I was just like,
"Where's your power?"
This is supposed to be elite level, like
boxing
trainers, brother. Elite level boxing, and that's what I could tell him that. Like, you're not telling. Obviously, you never want to overload boxers with too much information when they're in the ring. They kind of have to figure it out themselves, but at least give them some guidance. You telling him that's not giving him anything at all. So I think,
go on.
And I think that for Teofimo, I look at it and I was like, what was the game plan? What was the tactics? What did you go in there? What was the plan when you went in there? Because I didn't see anything. And don't get me wrong, ST, we said this. This guy, he gets frustrated easily. And then he looks like he's in no man's land. But there was no answers. And look, ST, we've seen it. Canelo didn't have any answers for Floyd. Marquez didn't have any answers for Floyd. Just to give two examples, you can go in there with a game plan and it can fall straight to shit because the guy opposite you is just too damn good. And anything that you try just doesn't work. And because you haven't got the boxing IQ level of your opponent, they're already forward thinking about what you may and try to do next. And it looked like this was the situation. However, your trainer should at least be telling you something, trying to give you something. Your dad telling you hit him harder, show him your power, hit him.
Crazy.
That's not giving him any information whatsoever. And that's the difference here. He went in with a guy that was superior than him in all different facets, and he had a corner that literally gave him nothing. So he was on his own, which ST was shown, because did you see when he went in with the doctors and all that and whatnot?
Yeah, he was by himself.
He was by himself. Nobody was with him. Everyone disassociated themselves with him. And that is wrong on so many levels. Obviously, Shakur came out and said it was wrong. Andre Ward's come out and said it's wrong. And not even from a boxing standpoint, but bro, that's your you. Like, you can be disappointed, fair, but that's your you. Do you know what I mean? Man's putting his life on the line because we know how the sport of boxing and any combat sports, how mad it is, and you're risking your life in there. the least you can do as forget the trainer as his dad is be there when he's going through his checks.
Exactly.
What if, God forbid, touch wood, it hasn't happened, but what if he went back there and something serious had gone wrong that we didn't notice at the time, and you're not there for your son? It's crazy, bro. Absolutely.
I couldn't,
crazy.
Bro, honestly, I couldn't believe it, and I felt, you know what? I felt sorry for Teo, but at the same time, Teo should look at this as like, you've now seen what the people around you will do when you're on the top or when you're losing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to change your father needs to get out of the corner, because not even from a boxing standpoint, but from a human standpoint, he's not giving you any encouragement, any like motivation to actually improve. And trust me, even though Shakur beat him pillar to post, Teo is still a fantastic fighter.
He's still a good fighter.
He said he's going to be moving up.
Oh, is that what he said?
He'll move up. He'll do well for 147. There's not really much fighters. He can beat Conor Ben. He can beat Crocker. He can beat all these guys. The only person that I think he'd have a problem with is Devin Haney. But at the same time,
because again, Devin Haney could do the same what Shakur did to him.
Yes. But I think Shakur is the best out of all of them. I think he's technically too good for him.
Which is fair.
But anyway, but at the same time, I feel so sorry for Teo in that sense, man. You put your life on the line. The fight's not gone your way, but you didn't get any information. You didn't get any encouragement during the fight. You didn't get any coaching during the fight, and you were basically left to figure it out yourself. And in a fight like this, little bits of information is vital for you to actually win rounds and stick to a game plan. It was clear to me that there was no proper game plan for Shakur.
No.
It wasn't. You didn't commit to boxing. You didn't commit to pressure. And I know Teo's a boxer puncher. So he has skills, but he can also create angles and punch and pressure. But his footwork is not of a pressure fighter where he constantly comes forward. And Teo in general likes to box on the back foot, and he's more comfortable on the back foot. And that's why I said he struggled with Shakur anyway. But at the same time, there was no game plan. With a fighter like Shakur Stevenson, you don't stick to a certain game plan. You have like 4 or 5. He didn't even have one game plan. And that's strategy, and that's due to the dad. Obviously, Shakur would have probably won anyway because he's that good. But you would have made it a better fight if there was a little bit of game plans. At least it was the Payda, Robert Garcia's guy. Robert Garcia had a game plan for him. It didn't necessarily work.
Exactly. But
there was a game plan, and Zepeda won rounds.
Yeah.
Teo didn't win rounds.
Teo got given one, and it was generous. I would say
it was generous,
to say the least. But just to bring you in, because obviously I know you said off air about Teofimo, and you didn't rate him since Cambosis. Like, just tell us why you felt that way and why you thought that Teo could potentially not win this fight, because obviously we didn't have you on last week.
Yeah, I mean, accumulation of things that I've seen happen in his career in real time. Because let's keep it real, he's a young guy. So I've seen the start of his career. I'm sure ST had. With flips in the ring, on EN reels and stuff like that back in the day. So, we had a high ceiling for him. And then he fulfilled that at a very young age when he went up against Lomachenko, because there was a lot of pressure on him for that fight. And it was just a typical thing that happened, the fame.
A few moments later.
I think what Tooth was... I was going to say what Tooth was trying to say is he probably didn't rate Cambosis, Teofimo from the Cambosis fight, is because, again, it was quite similar to this. He didn't really come in with a game plan from Cambosis, and Cambosis is nowhere near the fighter that Shakur is. The father and Teo were very overconfident about beating Kambosos.
Oh yeah.
It was the same thing, and then Kambosos knocks him down, and then even in that fight,
was that in the first round? Was it a first round
yeah,
knockdown?
first round.
Yeah.
It was the first round. And then even in that corner, the dad's like, why are you not hitting him? Get this guy out of here. He's rubbish. This is how we talk. This is how the man talk.
Yeah.
I was like,
you know there was there where you just watching something and you're just like, what? Like, why can't you hit him, bro? Like, what?
yeah.
Like, whereas you want the sweet, like, as a boxing trainer, you want them to go through the processes. You should be using the dialects that you would use, like only boxers would know. Like for the most part, do you know what I mean? You want that information. But Teofimo's dad is just a madman. But Tube made a great point. From that Kambosos Jr. fight, we saw the flaws that were that Teofimo had. And yes, don't get me wrong, he came back against what's it name? What's it? ST Josh Taylor? Is it Josh Taylor?
Josh Taylor.
Where
but even Josh Taylor at the time was on the decline.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think the reason why there's such talk about him and Josh Taylor is because, again, Teofimo was the underdog in that fight. A lot of people had Taylor winning that fight, and then he ended up winning it. So, yeah, I don't know. Teofimo, I don't. I'm just thinking from that perspective, like, where does he go from here? All right, take the trainer outside. He definitely needs to change trainer and change up the people that he has around him. But in terms of, you said he's going up to 147.
He's actually quite big. He's quite a big, musty guy. Yeah. He would do well at 147. He'd beat a lot of the guys at 147.
So take Haney out. Where are you going? If we take Haney out,
he can beat a lot of the champions, but he needs a proper guy in his corner because technically he's better than a lot of these guys, barring Haney. Like Crocker. Who's the other? You got Haney, Crocker, some other guys as well in that division as well. He's better than most of them. Barrios, Garcia.
Barrios is fighting. Is Barrios fighting Garcia, isn't it?
Yes, he's fighting Ryan Garcia.
Yeah. So
the winner of that, I
can't lie to you. I know. Obviously, I know Garcia's Two's boy, but I don't even that fight I can't predict, to be honest.
No, Garcia beats Barrios. Barrios is not good, bro. I'm telling you that from now. I'm telling you that from now. Garcia will be a world champion.
Yeah, we'll get there. Obviously, we'll do that fight 100%. But yeah, so all right, yeah. So there's fights at 147 for him, 100%. And yeah, he can win. It looks like he can win a world title at that level. But yeah, we'll see what happens with him. But as far as Shakur is concerned, the sky's the limit for him now. He's put on a boxing masterclass. He's silenced the haters, silenced the doubters with winning this. Obviously, I'm going to let you go through the rest, but let's just take what happened after the fight when he called Conor Benn into the ring and said to him, I want the same rehydration clause that you put on Eubank Jr., which I absolutely loved. I loved it. But love Conor Benn's response. You're too small for me, bro. Nah. Don't try and do that. Don't try and do that. Yeah, it's too small for me, bro. Because when you was too small for Eubank Jr., you weren't. That wasn't a rhetoric. You were saying, yeah, let's get this on. So go down to 140. Have the rehydration clause. And seeing as you've been saying you can beat Shakur, yeah, on various different podcasts, and then you said it in the ring saying you could beat him, he ain't got my power, this, that, and the other. Take the fight at 140, take the rehydration clause, and let's see Wagwan. Because we all know that's not going to happen. Because first things first, they're both under the same promoter. And we know for a fact that Eddie Hearn will never, ever, ever let that happen where Shakur could put a rehydration clause on Conor Benn at 140. He'd never, ever, ever let that happen, right? But I'm glad that Shakur did it and said it just to show the hypocrisy of what they did to Eubank Jr. because it should be fine. You boxed at 140 before. ST, am I right in saying he's boxed at 140? What?
No, 147.
Has he always been at 147?
He's always been at 147. Is his brothers? He's got his cousin. His half brother is at 140.
I thought
But
he
even
started.
that, I don't care. No, but even
I thought he started at 140.
No, he's always been at 147.
Okay. Anyway, I don't care.
Even if he's been at, I don't know. From what I remember, it was 147. But even that, who cares? Chris Eubank Jr. has never been lower than 160.
And remember, if you originally they wanted it at 154.
Yeah.
They wanted it at 154 originally, and that was Eubank Jr. for taking it and being an idiot. But anyway, I digress. But let's be real, ST. That fight is unlikely to happen because I don't see Shakur going up to 147 anytime soon. And which is why the other person that's most unlikely is Devin Haney. Because again, I don't see Shakur going up to 147.
Not yet.
So
no.
I think we can disregard those two fights for now. So ST, from your perspective, if we take out Haney, we take out Conor Benn, who are we looking at next for Shakur to fight?
Just one of the champions at 140. You've got Liam Parrow potentially fighting Richardson. What's it called? You've got Richardson Hitchens. That would be a decent fight because they know each other. They're good friends. Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson won't fight each other because they've been fighting. Yeah, but he's a champion as well. You got Dalton Smith.
Yeah, he just won the belt, innit?
Yeah, first of all, congratulations to Dalton Smith. I do like him as well. He's a talented boxer. But I think Shakur, I think they sparred before.
Shakur beats him.
I think Shakur beats him. Yeah.
I think in terms of, I think that's the most logical thing to do. He's at 140.
They're both at the same.
Yeah, the same way. I would say after, because obviously Smith's probably going to have a mandatory.
Yes.
So after the mandatory, I don't see why Shakur can't get in a win with him and try and unify or get another belt at 140, get another fight under his belt at 140. So I think that that fight makes sense. Anyone else?
Off the top of my head, those are the main guys, the champions. Like Richardson Hitchens, the New York guy, he's talented, but I know they fought as well, so that would be a good fight for Shakur. I don't know if they're good friends, they like each other, but I think they'll fight each other. It's not like Keyshawn and Shakur where they have fought each other since they were 6. They're like little brothers. They ain't gonna fight each other unless it's a lot of money.
Could you see Shakur going back to 135?
No. I think he's done at 135. For the simple fact is he looks so good at 140. I think that I don't know. They're not really
the reason why I say that is because there's a couple fights at 135. I think Lamont Roach, obviously, he's just coming off off draws against Tank and Pitbull.
Yes.
So I think they said that he could potentially be a fight. There's another guy. What is his name? Shaq Forster? Shaq Forster.
Shaq Foster.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know he's at 130, but he said if Shakur was willing to come down to 135, he'll be willing to go up to 135. And I think apparently they been going back and forth on social media. So I think that's another avenue that he could go down. So I think those are two fights. If he were to go back down to 35, that could potentially happen for him. But I think the most logical one is Dalton Smith to fight him for the, I think, what is it? Is it the WBC? The WBC, which obviously will be a problem.
But then, I was going to say, there might be a problem because the way Suleiman is moving. Shakur Stevenson might say, on that. And he's in every right to do it because Mauricio Suleiman is being extremely unreasonable, being a waste man, basically.
No,
just because Crawford beat your best fighter, the guy that has been giving you money for years, and obviously Crawford said he was going to pay them a fee, in fact, sanctioning fees, but they didn't accept it. They wanted more. They wanted the percentage. But these guys want more money, if you understand what I mean. They don't need the percentage of his earnings. They can just give him the straight fees, and that's it.
No, but
Look,
you know this is a money game, bro. And
oh
obviously the
yeah,
reason why they did that as well is because obviously what happened with Terence Crawford. But listen, congrats to Shakur.
Shakur.
It was absolute boxing masterclass, and you silenced the haters, silenced the doubters, and went on to show the sweet science. Though obviously there's still people out there looking in the comments. It's such a boring fight. Look, at the end of the day, for boxing purists and boxing fans like ourselves, we can appreciate what Shakur done in that ring. But obviously, you got armchair fans that just want to see knockouts,
Blood.
which we want. Don't get me wrong, we want to see knockouts. But every now and again, you're gonna get fighters that are that damn good that you have to appreciate the craft and what they can produce in a ring, especially when it's something like that and reminiscent of the likes of Floyd and Sweet Pea and all them guys. So salute to Shakur, man, and congratulations on the win. But ST and Tooth, moving on. Obviously, I said ST. I said that we had the conversation. I had a conversation last week about Chisora and Wilder, obviously signing the contract, having the fight. It's happening in April again. When it comes close to the time, we'll do a preview for that. But Wilder and Chisora were on TalkSport. Simon Jordan was there. Tooth brought it to our attention. I had seen clips and stuff on social media as well, and it got pretty tasty to the point where that Deontay decided that he was going to get up and walk off. And listen, him and Chisora are cool, good friends outside of the ring. Obviously, ST, we said, actually, I said to you that this is supposed to be Chisora's retirement fight. You said that you see Chisora winning the fight. And ST, what did I read today? The winner of this fight could be mandatory to fight Usyk for the title. I told you, if Chisora wins this fight, he's gonna carry on. He's not gonna retire. Like he's gonna get. And as we said last week, he has given Usyk his toughest test at heavyweight outside of the first fight with Fury for the first 6 or 7 rounds. But yeah, they went to promote the fight. Nah, it is what it is. And then Simon Jordan took it upon himself to ask the question about Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder didn't want to have that conversation. He did say, I do not want to talk about this. But Simon Jordan, being the guy that he is, proceeded to go down the route of talking about Fury. Obviously, various accusations have been made about Tyson Fury cheating, spiking water, obviously. Simon Jordan, the gloves, Simon Jordan bringing up the fact that Wilder said about his great Game of Thrones outfit, which Wilder then said that's not true, which it was because he's been on record of saying that. And it's not just the video that the Truth sent. I remember him saying that when it all came out. And Wilder went off on one. And I think the question is, and this is because Tooth put it in the group, which is why we're talking about it now. Because Tooth, you took issue with what transpired, and why did you take issue with what transpired? Because this, people, obviously you won't see it, this took up most of the day in our group chat. Tooth and the Truth just arguing about
not
this.
Me. Don't involve me. Listen,
bro, it was you, bro. Don't try it.
Listen, I was just doing what Simon Jordan was doing. I was rage baiting. I was rage baiting the Truth, bro, and that's all that was. But
he always forced.
Look, these guys, yeah, that go on interviews in no matter what capacity it is, radio, TV, whatever, yeah, for a promotion. It is a very sterile environment. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no question that will be asked on air that hasn't been, proposed to the team and the person they're going to interview to get clearance. And do you get what I mean? It's very vanilla, bro. It's very salt and pepper. Yeah. So let's just take that into consideration. This wasn't no off the cuff shit like Knights of the Round Table. Do you get what I mean? Like this. Do you get what I mean? It's a very controlled environment. They know what they're going into. They're going to prepare for it, and you know, the whole interview, bruv, my man is being vulnerable. Do you know what I mean? He's getting into his daughter. He's getting into his he's giving us the fucking Rocky story, Creed and that. Do you know what I mean? He's letting his guard down. He thinks like, rah, like as Chisora said at one point during the interview as well, like he's going through this healing thing.
Yeah,
you get me? And you can see, can see it, bruv, because you man know, like. When Wilder was knocking motherfuckers out, bruv, I was all bomb squad.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, you were.
And that bomb squad era was different from like what we were seeing today making the rounds on social media. Do you know what I mean? So when my man brought that up and it kind of went off the rails after, I'm like, well, how is Wilder getting all the blame? Like, this is the most unprofessional shit. It's almost like a breach of like a gentleman's agreement sort of thing. Because, like I said, it's a very sterile, vanilla, prepared environment. Like, they're not going to put these people in a Why? Because it will demolish their reputation as a credible source for other people to go and get interviewed and so on. Do you get what I mean? This is why I was saying shock jockey. Because that's what that was. That was a typical media trap, if you know what I mean, for him to just walk right into. And long story short, we're going to unpack all of the details about this, you know, Wilder's career, the racism and all of that stuff. We're going to unpack it. But long story short, what I was trying to make everyone aware of was that that's actually like a breach. Like I said, like you can't do that. You can't say like, all right, cool, these are the questions you're going to get on air. And then when you're on air, you come out with some shit like that. Do you get what I mean? Like, that's what that was. That's the way I see that. And it was such a rage bait question. And it was so obvious that even Chisora pointed it out. Like even Chisora said to Simon Jordan twice, like, bro, you know you weren't meant to bring that up. Like, simple as. So that's just the way I feel about it. Look, he made a fool of himself. That is on camera. You can't ignore that. Yeah, he had a meltdown, but he wasn't the reason why it got to that. He definitely was not. He didn't. You know what I mean? He doesn't know Simon Jordan. He doesn't. He's coming into interview. He's being told these are the questions we're going to ask. He's letting his guard down during this interview. He's feeling vulnerable. And then they bring up Fury. And it's like, yo, you know this guy is a fucking former heavyweight champion. Yeah, like he can see red immediately. And that to him must have felt like a betrayal. That for him must have felt like, all right, cool. I gave you guys my chat and now you bring up Fury. And we all know how he feels about that. Do you get what I mean? So don't bring it up. And also, why bring it up? It's like, bro, he's had 2-3 fights since then. Do you know what I mean? He's fighting Chisora. No, absolutely no need to sort of bring it up. I get it. I do. It's something that everyone wants to hear and listen to and get his thoughts on it. But at the same time, it's like, look, you that was kind of a red line you were not meant to cross, and you've crossed it now. So it made great promotion as well. That's another thing. As foolish as Wilder is, yeah, like he kind of does fell upwards, as ST would like to say. Like even that now has given this fight. Bro, I didn't even know this fight was happening until that shit happened. You know what I mean? So, but I know you want to get into all that stuff. Like, I know you want to unpack it, TJ. So, I'll throw it back over to you, bro. Like, what you got to say on it?
Look, at the end of the day, right, I watched this and there's a couple of things. I do agree with you. Obviously, they all get briefed about what questions are going to be asked or whatnot. It's not uncommon for a journalist to throw in a question that weren't necessarily put in the briefing before it happened. However, I do feel like something like this, I feel like that Wilder's camp probably would have said to him, please don't bring this up. But Simon Jordan being how he is, we know what he is. You either love him or hate him. He's going to do it anyway. He did say, like, he didn't go into detail that, but he did bring in Joseph. He brought up Joseph Parker. He brought up Zhang, and the way how Wilder look against those two, and it wasn't an issue. But obviously, there's a clear issue with Fury. He still feels like he was wronged by him, and you're correct in saying it was rage bait. There is a certain extent to that, but I just think Wilder's reaction was just, bruv, it was foolishness.
Come on, like, you know, even the way he asked him that question, yeah. If you go back and watch it, yeah, he's like, all right, cool, we're gonna talk about Fury. And Wilder's like, no, we ain't.
Yeah. He said I don't want to talk about it. He said, no, I don't want to talk about it.
But then
and he carried on.
Simon Jordan's response to that was like, no, but we are. It's my show. Like, you know what I mean? And bro, we know what. Look, man, we know Deontay's on his black power. I'm blacker than black. Yo, like, we know he's on that, bro. So for someone to talk to him like,
and I'm black, yo, and I'm
trust me, bro. But those who know, know. Do you know what I mean? We know he's on that vibe, yeah. For someone to talk to him like that, like, bro, you got to know your guest as well as an interview. That's another thing that shows
he's hot.
I was going to say this.
He's hot-headed, but my whole thing is that we could deal with it like this. It's happened. You saw the result. I feel this and the other, and what is in the dark will come out in the light eventually. I think that would have been the way to respond to it, and also shut it down and be like, all right, cool, boom. Like, that's it. That's the end of it, whatnot. But he's an emotional guy, and he got riled up, and he got Simon Jordan to come up. Simon Jordan got under his skin with that. There's obviously a clear issue with Fury, but I just feel like he could have dealt with that situation a lot better without it, because I just believe it was an overreaction. And look, listen, we were all ethnic minorities here. We understand how the system works. But the race card is something that, when it gets thrown out unnecessarily, is something that infuriates me. And I don't get me wrong, I kind of understand where Wilder's coming from, but this, to me, this wasn't that. And Simon Jordan's not saying that he believes Fury or whatnot. It's just a case of going off based on what we know. If you can prove otherwise, then fair enough. But this is what we know. This is what the facts are, and this is how it is. It's been 3-4 years since this has happened, and nobody's been able to come out with whatever's going on. We know, obviously, we're not going to get into it because I know too will get us shut down. We know what can happen when there's higher powers at work, but we're going based off what we know. This is the situation, and this is what I'm going off. This whole race thing wasn't that. And Chisora, as much as Tu said that he called it out, which is right, he did. Chisora was also on the wind up at the same time because he knew that Wilder.
He knew that would get into his head,
man, because he was giving man the tissues, giving man water, so he was on the wind up just as much as he was calling Simon Jordan out. ST, you wanted to say something?
No, what I was going to say, obviously, Chisora doesn't like Simon Jordan anyway, because he's had issues with him.
Yeah.
But I'm going to, like I said, I'm always going to bring this back to Wilder. Sometimes as well, and I'm listening to what Tufa said, what's it called? Wilder doesn't know anything about Simon Jordan. You are going on a podcast with Simon Jordan. You need to know the people, and whoever briefed him, this is what I'm saying, whoever briefed him needs to know how Simon Jordan is. You know Simon Jordan. You should know about Simon Jordan. That's just why I blame it on him. I'm pretty sure he knew what Simon Jordan sort of a character was.
But bro, that goes back to the point I made. Like, look, when they go for these interviews, right? There's a script. These things are scripted. Believe me. Like, there's no way.
For the most part.
So,
for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. So they knew that was a non-negotiable. Do you get what I mean? That was such a clear non-negotiable. Now,
No,
for whatever
listen, I
reason,
understand. Yeah.
so for whatever reason, so this is where I'm like, no, it don't matter about Wilder and how stupid he is and how his fucking IQ matches his boxing ability, which is not that great. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't blame him for that, bro. We can't. He's just a tool. Do you get what I mean? And this is what I see as exploitation. This is what I see as that, bro. I'm seeing like, yo, you man know he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. You're getting him out here on camera to make a fool of himself. That's what
I
I'm not
agree.
right.
I agree
not,
with that,
not,
but
I'm not saying that he wouldn't make a fool of himself, but you man are putting traps out there for him to make a fool of himself. This is the exploitation I'm seeing. Do you know what I mean? So this is why I can't fuck with any of them.
But my whole thing is that then be smarter than that.
This is what I was going to say.
Especially, look, it's one thing when in the US and they talk about it, but you know, all right, you haven't been over in the UK for ages. Obviously, no one's really spoken to you since Fury. And I think that's what Jordan said. Jordan was like, "I missed you 3-4 years ago when the fights were going on with Fury. So I want to ask you this question now." But my whole thing is, you know, when you're going to come over to the UK, Simon Jordan, whomsoever, somebody's going to ask you that question. Tyson Fury, you're linked because that was the last British heavyweight that you fought.
Exactly.
And it didn't go well because that was seen as the downfall of your career, the 3 fights with Fury. So you know that question's going to come up as much as, and two, I completely understand what you're saying. I know for a fact that there's things that like don't go into this, but you know you're going to get a journalist, just like there would be one in America, just like there'll be one in Australia. Somebody's going to find a way to ask that question. And my whole thing is that just rise above it and not say too much. Just dismiss it.
But
I get he's emotional and I get he's not the sharpest tool, but just that you didn't need to do it. Just dismiss it. All right, cool. Jordan said, all right, you said, no, I don't want to talk about it. But you could have also said, you know what, cool. I don't want to talk about it. The fights have happened. Yeah. I know what happened. People know what happened. And it's going to come out. And that's it, because it would have shut it down.
Yeah, but what I was trying to make was... Yeah. Sorry, Esther, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, just to piggyback off what he said, TJ said, yeah. The fact is, again, Wilder has been in. It's not like, for example, this is like someone who's not in the sport he hasn't been in the sport for like 1 or 2 years. Wilder is an experienced fighter. He's been in this sport for over 10, 12, whatever, how long. You should know he's had questions like this. So you're experienced enough to react a certain way. This is why I'm getting onto him about not being smart, because you've been in the sport for so long. You should be able to read and understand how the cues of people. And this is why I criticize him. Like, you, again,
as I understand, bro, but
yeah,
my whole point was, this question is unavoidable. The question of the question of Fury is unavoidable. As TJ said, someone is going to ask him. But I'm trying to put the whole thing in context here. Yeah. The context is, first of all, Wilder is not a media friendly guy in the same sense of, let's say, an AJ or a Tyson Fury, who are always in front of cameras. Do you get what I mean? So that's number one. Yeah. Number two, outside of like promotions for fights, I can never recall my man like being on a TV show, or do you get what I mean? Like it's very few and far between.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah.
He's not really out there. So he's created a bubble for himself. Do you get what I mean? And that little bubble, whatever he wants enters, and whatever he doesn't want does not enter. Like he's kind of had that privilege. You get me? This is the first time now where he's out in the open. Like it's easy pickings. And like I said in that interview, like if you watch the full 22 minutes, bro, my man's telling you Rocky shit, bro. Creed shit. Do you get what I mean? raging bullshit. Like he's telling you how all of this shit he's had to overcome, and you know emotions are flowing, and you could just see it from Chisora's reaction. That Chisora's just sitting there, just waiting, like he knows.
Oh, he's loving it.
Just knows. Because right from the jump, even the way Simon Jordan introduced Chisora, like, oh yeah, he's this right-wing cunt, basically. Yeah. Like you can see the look on as much as like, yeah, he is. Yeah, but again, like the unprofessionalism, like someone with a little bit of street, like, do you know what I mean? Being a little bit streetwise can tell, like, oh yeah, I see what's going on here.
But obviously,
there's always underlying connotations with these people.
Yeah, we're all mandem. We know we're all mandem. We know, especially educated mandem as the three of us are. We know we can understand the difference between someone who's intelligent and someone who's intelligent and condescending.
Yeah,
we know the way.
He's a hillbilly, bro. He's a hillbilly, and this is what I mean. He's a hillbilly, and that was just exploiting someone that is just not smart. Do you know what I mean? It's just not a very smart guy.
Like from us, we're all professionals. I don't need to tell you what jobs are, but we're all doing well. We're professionals. We've all been in the corporate system. We've all gone through the system where we've had people that are higher up or people who act and are like Simon Jordan, who are condescending, who speak to us or say little undertones to think that we don't understand. But we are smart enough to understand and not to rise above it. This is why I get onto Wilder as well, because you're not a newbie.
He's been in the game for years.
Industry for a long time.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm so frustrated at him as someone of color as well, because it's like
we don't because you know what it is.
This wasn't a racism thing.
It wasn't.
No, it's
not.
It's
Do you know
racist.
what it is? Do you know what it is?
It wasn't
a racism thing, and I don't think it was from Jordan. But Wilder's reaction, which is the other reason why I'm annoyed at it, you know what it's like. You know, because that reacting the way that he's reacting, you know what the comments are going to be. Like we all know what the comments are going to be. Yeah, look at this and blah, and see, that's all they do. They're emotional. Look at them being aggressive. Do you know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, he's a boxer. That's his thing. But like in this world, we just don't need that because we know, and that's the one thing that I'll agree with Fury with Wilder to a certain extent is if Tyson Fury reacted this way. Yes, he'd be called a tool and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. But the reaction wouldn't be that way when you look at the words that people use. And I think that's what annoyed me more than anything else when it comes to this subject. But me personally, I just felt bad for, as Tooth said though, it's great publicity and promotion. But it wasn't even promoting the fight. It was more promoting the fact that Wilder was back in the UK. And then you just found out through this reaction that, oh, yeah, he's going to be fighting Chisora. But I just hope that Wilder learns from this because what I don't want now is because obviously the fight's not until April. They've still got press stuff to do. If someone else decides to come up with this, are we going to get the same reaction again? I'm not saying man can't be emotional and man can't be in his feelings because he feels that he's been wronged, but just be a little bit more smart about it.
Be more streetwise.
And just, you can dismiss it. You can still answer the question and dismiss it. That's my point. So you can let someone know, I've answered your question, but that's it. You don't have no follow-up question after that. We ain't doing this anymore, and I hope that's the route that Wilder takes as the press and everything as we get closer and closer to the fight. But listen, as Tooth said, it allowed him to know that the fight was going on, and bro, it was great promotion to know that Wilder's back in action, bruv, and Chisora,
bro. Do you know what's funny? Yeah, it's you said something and it just made me think like, maybe it is a bit racist, bro. Because I swear, for every Tyson Fury fight, yeah, John Fury has done exactly the same thing.
Oh, he's
Exactly
been
what,
worse.
but it's what,
Like,
but it's, what's
literally,
it, what is
He's worse. Man's
I'm
getting people's
telling you,
ears,
bro.
screaming in what's it
Not
called,
one
Frampton's
batting an
fame,
eyelid, bruv. They gave
bro.
these man a Netflix TV show, fam.
bro, which is why I said, yeah, I get it to a certain extent, because
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
what I'm saying. Yeah,
the reaction from one and not the other, yeah, they'll probably call him a tool and a plonker, but you won't be getting all the stereotypes coming with it. You get me? That's
and
my
it
point.
frustrates me.
That's my point.
And that's your point, and I agree with you.
Like one man gets this to this day, and he's made a meme. The other guy's dad is making a fool of himself, and they get a TV show. You see the disparity, bro.
Yeah, it's mad.
One's a
It's
meme, and
obviously
one gets a TV show, bro.
the undertones and the undertones and the obvious.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah.
obviously
We
bias
know
is
what it is.
horrible,
We know it is.
bro.
But Tooth, just finally before we wrap up, like obviously now you know about the fight. How do you feel about it? ST and I've already spoke about. How do you feel about this fight, Chisora and
We already know what he's
Wilder?
gonna say.
Hey, listen, man. Bomb squad, bro. Round one, bro. Chisora's going to bed, bro.
I said to ST, I was like, I don't think this goes past 4 rounds, and I think Wilder wins. He said
I said
Chisora in
Chisora
8.
wins.
He said Chisora in 8.
I said Chisora in 8, bro. Because look, he's in his head
You
now,
know what?
bro.
I'll tell you what, though. It's I don't know, man. I can't see Wilder knocking him out early. Like those days, I feel like are beyond it.
Oh,
right?
yeah, he's too gun shy like that.
Yeah, but who knows? Because power is always the last thing to go, innit? So we'll see.
I think he has to, because he can't, bro. We've seen with Chisora fights. The longer it goes on, the stronger this guy gets, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So that's exactly what I'm saying. Like back in the day, we used to be like, "Oh, just wait, and Chisora will gas himself out."
Yeah.
Now it's like you can't do that, bro. You can't do that with
back in the day, Wilder I would have said easy Wilder, because Wilder would have landed right hand. He was vicious and he was more angry and stuff. Maybe, you know what? Maybe this can go the other way. Maybe it can make Deontay Wilder so angry that he'd want to beat him up. But it seems like they're too cool to be fighting each other. If you understand what I mean. Like, obviously, I know Chisora doesn't care. Chisora will fight anyway, anyhow. He don't care. He's a fighter and stuff like that. But with Wilder really has to like have a little like nastiness and has to hate you to knock him out.
But it will come. I feel like you know,
it will come.
I think it will come as as they go through camp and do the promos and the tours and the press conferences and all that stuff. I think he will, because the way he was talking in that interview, like, it was some corny shit. I'm not gonna lie, like all of that. Yeah, I'm going through this transformation and all this shit is bare cheesy. But in his own head, he actually thinks like, do you know what I mean? This could be the career resurgence, the career revival, the career CPR that he needs, and he fully believes that. So we'll give him one more chance, and there's no better opponent than Chisora to put that to the test.
100%. As I said, it's come out that the winner of this becomes mandatory for Usyk. So it's a straight shootout to get a title.
And Usyk wants to face Wilder, so you be hoping that Usyk wins.
I think,
but that would be gangster though. That would be gangster, bro, because then he would have done Fury, who
AJ
was
and Wilder.
Yeah, and all 3 of these guys were meant to be the either the undisputed, undefeated king of the heavyweight division of our generation. And this guy came and snatched that. But imagine if Wilder beats Chisora and then beats Usyk, bruv. Oh my God.
You're not gonna hear the end of it.
Bruv, listen, I tell you now, it's never gonna happen. But if it does, bro, people will never hear the end of it, bruv. And bro, like I said, the truth will have to hide in the group chat if that ever happened. I can tell you that for free, bruv. Like, honestly, but I can see it happening where Wilder retires Chisora and Usyk retires Wilder, and then Usyk retires himself. So yeah, yeah. But listen, people, we're going to wrap up there. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Let us know what you think about Stevenson versus Teofimo. Where do you think Teofimo goes from here? Where do you think Shakur goes from here? Should Shakur go up to 147? Haney's up there. Should he stay at 140 and fight Smith? Should he go back down to 135? Lamont Roach Jr. is down there. Let us know what you think next for Teofimo. As ST said, he's looking at moving up to 147. Should he fight the winner of Barrios and Garcia? Who's the other champion at 147? You said ST? Crocker?
Dalton Smith.
No.
147. Sorry,
yeah.
Crocker.
Yeah,
Crocker.
Should he have a shot at Crocker? Let us know what you think about the Chisora, Wilder and Simon Jordan situation. Who do you think's in the right? Who do you think's in the wrong? Do you think Simon Jordan was right for posing the question? Do you think Wilder's reaction was necessary to put man in his place? Or do you think it was just a massive overreaction? And let us know what you think about the Wilder versus Chisora fight. Who you got? Have you got Wilder? Have you got Chisora? We will be previewing it closer to the time, people. Do you think that this is a pathway? Will it happen? Wilder retires Chisora, Wilder beats Usyk, and then becomes world champion. Could you imagine? Like, do you know how mad that is? The guy with the least boxing skills goes
Let's
and
believe it into existence. Let's believe it into existence.
For boxing, I can't have that happen.
No, I have to. I need chaos, bruv. I need anarchy. This is the kind of shit I love.
Can you imagine in the chat that Deontay Wilder will have us? What you be talking mess?
Top 3 of all time, bruv. Top 3 of all time.
It started. See, look, Wilder can't win. He can't win. You don't win. No,
bro, no chance, bro. No
Top
chance.
3, bruv. Listen, Ali, Deontay, Floyd. Simple. There you go.
Fuck off, bro. This guy's crazy, bro. Listen, I can't do this.
Ignore him.
But let us know what you think. We want to hear from you. And as usual, before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up, and at the same time, share. We are here, and don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. I want to say thank you very much to my guys, Tooth and ST, as usual. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Safe, bro.
People coming up, Footy Chat will be coming up. That's it for boxing right now, ST, innit? There's nothing in the pipeline.
There's not really a big fight.
Yeah, there's nothing in the pipeline of recent. As I said, people, I will be talking to the Truth and Mr. KA and getting another NBA talk during the All-Star break. Tooth, it is going to happen. Trust me, it is going to happen.
It happened before and it was a success, so we need it to happen again.
Lies. All lies.
No, it was. It happened. And we were all listening. They were just going at it. It just started like, okay, people, please watch the previous NBA talk show. You'll see what I'm talking about. The Truth and K, two enemies were just going at it. It was like HBO Face Off. It was hilarious.
That's exactly what it was. I was just sitting there watching it, bro.
That's the greatest promo, actually. Do you know what? I'm gonna go back and watch it now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
bro.
throw that
Honestly,
on after this.
100.
TJ was Max Kellerman out here.
Rob, trust me, bro. I was just here trying to keep the peace. But yeah, people, Footy Chat is up. I think that's going to be it for the foreseeable. I'll find out from Tooth off air about the next UFC and if it's worth previewing, and we'll definitely get that fight talk back for you as well. But listen, people, stay safe out there, be safe, and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.